everybody, and welcome to the ESL India Premiership. Coming up next, we have DOTA 2 for you folks, and this is going to be a very interesting game because we have a team from Bombay who's going to be going up against a team from Mangalore. Now, the team from Mangalore, I don't think you guys know much about them. They're a fantastic team. They've as of now scored 3 points, 3 games for themselves on the board, and also taken victories in all those 3 games. Today, they're going up against the team ROG Titans, who have also defeated our defending champions from the December Masters League. It's going to be signified that they took on as a defeat. So let's first introduce both the teams and then I'll tell you more about them. The first team that we're going to talk about is Team Cullies. Alright, so that is Team Cullies for you folks. As of now, they sit 6th on the leaderboard. I'm sorry, they actually sit 5th on the leaderboard. They've not really taken a loss till now, but today could be the day where they could face their first loss because they're going up against the Titans, who have still not been undefeated in the summer season of the ESL India Premiership. So let's see ROG Titans. Alright, so ROG Titans over there sitting 4th on the leaderboard, have already played 4 games and won all of them. Have also played against the top team Signify and were able to take that win for themselves. Also in detail, of course, they have played after the 7.14 draft, so that could be also why they were able to take that victory of Signify. Of course, Signify doing a wonderful job there, trying to take that game, but at the end of the day, the team that is stronger comes up forward. So today, Cullies got to be a little careful. They're playing against a team that everybody fears, so let's see what they're going to pick up in this matchup. If we get the draft on board soon, we'll be able to know what's happening over there. I do know the Team Cullies like to play a very versatile kind of draft. They picked up heroes like the Invoker also for their favor. But as of now, if we look at the draft, we see ROG Titans have decided to ban out the Sand King, the Omni Knight, the Razor, while Cullies have decided to ban out the Tusker, the Dark Willow, and the Bounty Hunter. Now, the Dark Willow was one of the heroes that ROG Titans did use in most of their games, and they've actually helped a lot in their games, and they've also taken the victory over Signify with that hero. So Cullies want to make sure that they don't really have that problem this time. They're going to quickly ban off the Dark Willow, picking up the Earth Spirit for themselves. Now, I've seen them play this hero before and they've actually got a good win rate. So I'm hoping to see whether they decide to also have a different scenario in this case. They're also mostly going to pick up the Monkey King. They do like to play him in the off lane, the Disruptor being one of their favorite supports. Of course, that also means that they have the Winter available if they want to use that. The Witch Doctor, even though getting a little bit of nerf, there is still very strong in his 5th role. So let's see if that hero gets picked. For now, ROG Titans is going to take some time at this pick. They do like to play the Tusker, so if they opt to pick that one up first, that could work for them. Going to take some time on the clock, 1 minute 18 seconds on reserve time, but they're opting to go for the Jakiro and Tiny. You know, Jakiro after 7.14, actually even before that, he was pretty strong. He's very good at taking down towers. He plays beautifully well in the carries. Safer zone. They also have the ice path available to make sure that in the early stages of the game, Jakiro doesn't really struggle that much. They're going to go pin that down with the Tiny, while Cullies reply to that with the Phoenix. Now, they've already played the Phoenix before again and in the off lane, and they like those rotations coming in on the Phoenix between the 15 to the 20-minute mark. So I'm hoping to see whether they go with that. This could also mean that could go in a 2-1-2 lineup if they opt to play. If Cullies opts to play that kind of lineup, that could favor them. But ROG Titans going to just ban out that Void. They don't really want that AoE combo coming in there from Cullies, and meanwhile Cullies is going to ban out the Juggernaut, even though they like to play it quite a bit. That also says that they could play the Life Stealer for themselves with the Phoenix and Fest Bomb. It could cause quite a bit of devastating work in the game, but they're going to take some time on the clock. We're going to see they're going to ban out the Life Stealer next. They don't really want Cullies to be playing that Infest Bomb combination, so that's going to get a respect ban over there. Also, we see that the Viper is still available if they opt to go for a Viper in the mid lane. But ROG Titans is going to take some time with this pick. They like to play the Pit Lord in the off lane. They could opt to pick that. Very tanky, also played beautifully well by A35. And once he kind of gets his 4 items, he seems to be pretty undestructible. So if that happens, then ROG Titans have a good set of heroes coming in there. But Cullies have to make sure that they have a good front line themselves. If they don't get a tanky enough hero, it could be devastating for them. Now we look at it and we see what the picks and bans are. We see the Leshrak that is going to get a ban from Cullies, and this also means RG Titans is the next one to pick up on this board. They could opt to go for the OD. He's still available in the pool if they want to go for that. Also the mid lane, the Puck also is a very good initiator. That was one of the heroes that ROG used to take another victory for themselves. So I'm hoping to see whether they take that pickup. The Naga and the Nyx, also 2 other heroes that ROG Titans can opt to go for. The ROG Titans do like to play the Nyx quite a bit now. So if they opt to go with that, they have good stuns coming in there from the Jakiro, the Tiny, and the Nyx Assassin. And that also fares well because Cullies will have to invest a lot into sentry wards and make sure that they know where this Nyx is at all times before they get into fights, which could work a lot in the favor of ROG Titans. But for now, they're going to take some time on this pick. The Disrupt is still available. They got to still pick their carry. Cullies looking into this one. They could opt to pick the Luna because I don't think they'll go for the Terrorblade. He's got quite a bit of nerf in the 7.14 draft. So if they do decide to go with the Terrorblade, it could work against them. But Cully is going to secure their mid next. Going to quickly pick up that Viper, which fares really well in case even there is an OD against him, or even something like a Lina. So I'm hoping to see if the Viper gets a good opening. But as we speak of that, we see that ROG Titans decide to pick up the Night Stalker. Now, the Night Stalker is one of the most scariest heroes after the 3-minute mark in the game. Once the Night hits, you're going to know that in the mid lane, he's going to get those quick ganks off. He's going to make sure that his mid is always secure. That means Cully's got to be very careful with also their warding and see to it that they make sure that their mid does not die. That also means that the Earth Spirit has to be constantly rotating into that mid lane to make sure that their mid, the Viper, is in a very safe spot. We're going to just see now what else happens here. 16 minutes, 16 seconds of reserve time on the clock. ROG Titans is going to take some time with this pick of theirs. Going to see what they have in store for them. They could opt to pick up their mid lane if that Tiny is in the off lane. They could also opt to pick up the Clockwork if they like, but they're going to take some time. Pit Lord still one of my favorites, but it's going to be a Tinker mid coming in there from ROG Titans. So that's a good fare against the Viper because he doesn't really need to go in to take shots on the Viper. He could just level up his Martyr machines and make sure he gets all those creeps going. He can also make sure that the Jakiro in his spare time can also stack up a few farm for him. See to it that when the Boots of Speed has to be bought off, he's going to have enough money to even make that into a Travels, which kind of helps ROG Titans take in more fights after the 15-minute mark. Cully is going to secure their 5th role now, going to just pick up that Disruptor for themselves. Good lineup actually coming in there from Cullies. They have a lot of AoE damage that they could really use in their fights. But ROG Titans is known for their split push. So if it kind of comes down to a 2-1-2 scenario, we're going to see Cullies a little bit in a struggling position. They're very dependent on that Viper for the tank. And that also says that they got to pick up another hero that kind of is more tanky for them. Last 2 bans on the board. It's going to be the Terrorblade getting there, a ban by ROG Titans. Even though he's nerfed, they really don't want to play against that push coming in from the Terrorblade. So just going to quickly ban off that hero. That also shows that Cully is now going to make sure what they're going to pick up as their carry. They could also have to go for a DK. As a matter of fact, he's pretty tanky. He could get up a lot of farm in the early stages of the game. They could opt to go for the Juggernaut, but he's been got a ban, so they got to be careful about that. Cully's looking for the last ban on the clock. They got to make sure that they don't really know whether that Tiny is actually an off-lane Tiny or is he going to be a carry Tiny. Now, if he's going to be a carry Tiny, it's okay for them. But if it's an off-lane Tiny, it could be also very devastating for them because then they could send the Tiny and the Jakiro in one lane and send the Night Stalker roaming to manage the Tinker and pick up something else in the off-lane. RC Titans thinking about this one quite a bit. They could also opt to go for the Legion Commander, actually, when you think about it, into the off lane. She could farm in the NC. Even the Axe, as a matter of fact, would be a good pick for them. But for now, they're going to use up their reserve time. 1 minute 13 seconds on the clock. Cully's thinking about this one. They could really go and actually just take out the Legion Commander because if he latches onto the Viper or the Disruptor, that could be one hero down in every single fight that they go against. But Gyro going to get a ban out there by Cullies. They kind of have known now that Tiny is going to mostly be in the off lane, and they got to make sure that ROG Titans doesn't have a very strong carry to pit against theirs. This could also make a decision that what could ROG Titans really decide to go here as their carry. I mean, they could go, again, I would talk about the Luna, the Void getting a ban, the Life Sealer's got a ban, the Juggernaut's got a ban. They could also go for a Monkey King. They could all definitely go for a Monkey King. I think that could favor them also with the sight and vision. If we talk about RG Titans, this vision module, I mean, with the Night Stalker not really giving them much of that vision. And then you have the Monkey King who kind of give you full area vision. That could work in their favor. But Cullies is going to make sure now that whatever they pick now is going to finalize their draft and also finalize how they're going to be looking into this game. And this mostly is going to be a 30-minute game looking at the lineup. So Cullies is going to make sure that even if they opt to pick a hero like a Spectre, he gets the basics farm up and running with the 20-minute mark. This also says that even the Medusa is up for grabs. If Cullies is making sure that they need tower damage done, even Medusa is a good option over there to get that tower damage for them. But they're going to opt to go for the Monkey King. It works favorably well for them because they have a Night Stalker in the opposite side who's going to give them very less vision. Now with the Monkey King over there, they also save their carry from really having a struggling early game. At the same time, they also know that when they get into a fight, the Monkey King is going to scout it out for them. It's going to help them in the fight in general. And if they're going to go for a 5v5 kind of combination, this could work well for them. But ROG Titans, very surprising but very fun pickup coming in from them. They're going to go with the Enchantress. Now the Enchantress, she is very, very strong. I mean, some people say she isn't, but she definitely is. She can just make sure that she enchants the creeps and starts taking down towers. And that is what ROG Titans is basically looking at. They have the mid lane for the Tinker. They have the Jakiro and the Enchantress to make sure that Tiny gets his farm in the early stages, and he also gets to take down towers much faster in the early phase. And if ROG Titans is able to pull that, then I think Cullies is in a little bit of trouble because they are going for a 5v5 lineup. So let's see how this game is going to go. We have our caster ready, Vivek. So let's get it to the game.
Are you ready to rumble? Are you ready to rumble? ready to rumble? Are you ready?
Wait, I had to restart my computer. I'm joining the game. Once. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the ESL India Premiership. This is day 30 of the summer season. My name is Vivek, and we got the ROG Titans facing off versus Cullies. ROG Titans, I mean, they've got the biggest boost to their confidence that they could ask for. They're taking a game off Signify, and in a rather convincing manner with this man, ZXE and the Tiny, not even dying once. They've also got themselves the Tinker, one of Archmage's go-to heroes. Funnily enough, Cullies did have the last pick to respond to this. And they chose to go for the Monkey King, which, I mean, isn't too bad. Should be decent in the mid game, but I really don't see how they catch that Tinker when he keeps using the Blink Dagger and continuously keeps moving into the trees and just starts to push out lanes. I guess what Cullies are going to hope to do is shut down the Tinker in the lane itself. And yeah, Rizel on the Viper, I mean, he's got his work cut out for him. The problem is, even if you give Tinker a rough start at the beginning, he still goes back into the jungle, manages to catch up, manages to farm his Blink Dagger, his BOTs, and then you got serious problems. Another thing about the Cullies draft is that they're going to struggle to go high ground versus this Tinker. The best way I see them going high ground is if the Phoenix picks up the Meteor Hammer. And mid-Icarus dive, you can channel the Meteor Hammer, so you can swoop into the tier 3, channel the Meteor Hammer, come back to where you started your Icarus dive from, and then you're channeling that Meteor Hammer far, far away from most of the action. Yep, this is the best shot that Cullies have of sieging high ground. The Monkey King, not great at taking down structures. The Viper, not too great either. I don't know, maybe with the Helm he can push the tier 1s early on, but pushing tier 3s, the Viper and the Monkey King are really going to struggle. We did have a small technical hiccup. For some reason, my mic just decided to stop working as soon as we went live. But we got it sorted. I had to quickly just reboot my PC and we're okay. And now the players need a pause. Those if you're just tuning in, you're watching the ESL India Premiership. We got ROG Titans facing off versus Cullies. And Cullies, they aren't at the top of the table, but they are one of the good teams here. I've been particularly impressed with some of the performances, especially the game that was broadcast last Tuesday, where they played Nefarious, if I'm not mistaken. That was definitely one of the best games of Dota that we've seen so far in the ESL India Premiership. Seems to be some sort of a dual lane coming up from A35 and Evil Ash. I mean, they can just run down HN6 and there's not too much that the Cullies can do to punish this. Quick ensnare coming out from A35, falling slowly, will fall and they might find the trade. But first blood does go towards the ROG Titans. And Evil Ash looking for more, pops the mango, has the void, the troll, the Dark Troll Summoner is there. The Boulder Smash, buying time, but the Dark Troll Summoner. A neutral creep on the mission, trying to find HN6. I'm going to cut back to Evil Ash, who's being run down. And with the Jingu, do they have enough to find the kill? No, they don't. HN6 also gets away safely. And A35 already applying a fair bit of pressure onto the Cullies in their safe lane. ZXE, I mean, he likes to play. I'm really quite excited to see what this kid is all about. He's only 18, 19 years of age, and he likes to play really aggressive carries. And it's not just brainless aggression. He plays them in this really calculated, smart way. I think he died 0 times. He at least had a good 10 kills. And I think dying 0 times versus a team like Signify says a lot about you as a core. That is Bug. Teaming up with ZXC, you can't beat it. He's got the Icarus dive and one bird swoops away from the other. How's the mid lane looking? So, Rizal isn't really doing too much as far as shutting down Archmage is concerned. I don't know. When I think of the Viper pickup, I think of a hero that wins the lane but doesn't go on to win you the game. And if Rizal isn't winning the laning phase, what good is a Viper? Sure, he does hit this weird power spike at around the 50-minute mark when I don't know, whenever he hits his level 25 and he's got Nether Toxin, applies a silence in. That's when he starts swinging back into the game. But if he moves into the mid game without having won his lane itself, you really wouldn't be too pleased if you had a Viper like that on your team. Up top, you can't beat it. Having a rough time on the Phoenix does end up getting caught in the trees. Zedisbug, well versed with the ways of the offlaner, does manage to chase him down and does end up finding that kill. Down bottom, Evil Ash or Adrenaline Rush does end up falling as well. It is close to the 4-minute mark, so he's going to come back with that increased movement speed and attack speed. And that untouchable is going to cause problems for the Monkey King. I wonder if he's going to build into a Silver Edge just to apply a break onto A35. If he does, I mean, A35 is probably one of the easiest kills for him across the map. Both safe laners getting their farm at the mid lane though. Rizal dropping low, and there's Evil Ash. First nighttime, secures a kill onto the Viper. Rizal, even in his grey, manages to find the trade, but he's not going to find the EXP for that one. The boulder smash from Zeal and his leftover Nether Toxin doing more than enough to bring down the Night Stalker. Up top, Zedisbug. Just controlling the creep equilibrium as much as possible. A35. Putting points into Untouchable. Now, Untouchable did get nerfed a couple of Thursdays ago. And I think even Enchant got nerfed. I think the amount of time for which a neutral creep stays enchanted has been reduced. So many patches, so many numbers. I'm not keeping track of the exact numbers, but I play a lot of Enchantress, and I do know that Enchanted gets significantly nerfed. How are the offlaners looking as far as the EXP is concerned? So you can't beat it. He's been playing the offlane the old school way all by himself. A35 has had a little bit of help from the Night Stalker, and he's actually doing better as far as the XP is concerned. They might find HN6, the Boundless Strike is there, but HN6 will fall. Evil Ash gets the kill, looks to get away without being punished, doesn't have the Crippling Fear. The miss chance from the Crippling Fear could be huge, but falling slowly without Jingu stacks is just a glorified melee creep. And he's going to end up falling. A double kill for Evil Ash. Zeal makes that rotation on the Earth Spirit, doesn't find too much. Boulder Smash committed, Rolling Boulder on cooldown, can't really punish Evil Ash, but Evil Ash hangs around a bit too long, gets glimpsed back into the kinetic field, and that's where he's going to end up falling. One kill, split by 3 in Cullies, looking to find another. A35 gets kicked back there by Zeal. Fancy footwork coming out by the Earth Spirit, and once again, one kill split by 3. Strong sense of communism in the Cullies safe lane, as they're sharing all the gold amongst the 3 of them. Mid lane. Well, Rizal, he's getting CS. And he's above Archmage in terms of net worth, but he isn't really shutting down Archmage. And I think if you take a look at the EXP, they're nearly dead even. Evil Ash just walks past the mid lane. And ZXC goes for the Aquila first. I guess there's a case for the armor. Down mid though, you got a Rolling Boulder coming up from Zeal. The Viper Strike is there. Archmage. That should be his first death of the game. Rizal getting tied for that one, and now Viper running down the Chokiro. Zedisbug walks out of the Nether Toxin, but he cannot escape the kinetic field, as he should end up falling. They leave the kill for Rizal. Good stuff coming up from Cullies. Moving to the mid lane. Finding a core, finding the support who ended up rotating there as well. They're managing to hold on as far as the lanes are concerned, and now Viper's on top of the net per charts. I want to see ZXC just focusing on the farm, but He's trying to push the Phoenix out of lane. Might even get the kill. Jesus. Okay. That's how he's going to farm. Down button though. Looks like we got Evil Ash just running down, falling slowly. Flies over the trees. Finds the Monkey King. Brings down the Monkey King. HN6 is here. Has the glimpse coming off cooldown in a bit. But what good is the glimpse when Evil Ash on the Night Stalker just runs into you? HN6 slowed down by the Untouchable. Pays tribute to the Matrix and then just walks back to the lane. Evil Ash, has he got a shrine to work with? No. That's a base trip for the Night Stalker. Not yet level 6, so he hasn't got that darkness. Maybe he hits 6 with the tomb. But this is when the RG Titans have to be a little more cautious with their aggression. A35 increasingly making this lane harder and harder for the Monkey King. I mean, falling slowly is starting to fall off, and the supports on the side of Cullies, they really need to deal with this Enchantress. A35 level 6, 8 minutes in. Look at that. 2 mangoes on the Monkey King. It is monkey season, or rather mango season. Mangoes are on sale, but I don't know, a lot of course they've been buying up these mangoes. Not really sure how much it helps. 0.7 HP regen. A reduced cost indeed, but where's Falling Slowly going to use them? There's no item he can convert them to. He's rarely going to find the opportunity to use them. I guess he's probably going to give it off to one of his supports, or use it on one of his supports rather. 7-7, 9 minutes in. I think it's time to take a look at the lanes a little closer. The Viper's doing well, but Archmage, he's still farming. Not farming as well as he'd like. He'd like to get his VOTs by around the 10-12 minute mark, but he's starting to put points into the match. Maybe with a couple of stacks. Okay, no stacks for him in the jungle. No stacks for him in the jungle. So he hasn't got that way to catch up quickly, but he should get that. I think Archmage is their late game insurance policy. So yeah, the Viper hasn't done too bad. I think Archmage has recognized that it's getting harder and harder for him to just walk into the lane. And yeah, Rizel trading hits with Archmage, commits the Viper strike in. Archmage, he's okay with this. He can TP back home, rearm his TP and come back to the mid lane. The good news for ROG is that they've won their safe lane hard. They've won their off lane equally hard as well. And I think the remaining 4 heroes will make space for Archmage, but at the bottom lane, they might lose Evil Ash. Evil Ash ends up falling. They might lose A35 as well. That Boundless Strike doing a fair amount of work. The Nature's Attendants are there, but the magic damage from the Phoenix, more than enough to bring down the Enchantress as well. Cullies, they like to share everything. They're splitting all this gold, and I mean, actually it isn't too bad. Falling slowly, he'd rather get the kill, but he's at least sharing the bounty for the skills that his team has been securing. And I think any gold is much needed for this Monkey King, who was starting to fall behind the Enchantress, but has started to catch up as well. Mid lane, HN6 walks in with the Thunderstrike Archmage. He's got to be careful. He spams the march as hard as he can, but he's going to end up falling. Zeal gets the kill, but might be punished here as Archmage. Well, in death, his support Night Stalker will help secure a kill for him. I have never seen so many kills being shared here. In any game of Dota, don't see the bounty being shared that often. Up top, Falling Slowly looks to get the Primal Spring, but you can't beat it. Broke Falling Slowly's own tree, and Falling Slowly was stunned up. But with the glimpse, they should find ZXC. ZXC dropping low, has to one charges, but Falling Slowly with the Jingu, with the Boundless, will secure the kill. And Phoenix has got to be careful with his Icarus dive there. He runs the risk of breaking the trees that his Monkey King is perched upon, and that stun can absolutely cause problems for Monkey King in team fights. A35 down bottom has the Nature's Attendants, but the Sunray is there, along with the Urn Charge. Fire Spirits not available, coming off cooldown in a bit. They've got another Urn Charge. A35 leading them on a wild goose chase, and this is space, but the question is, what are ROG doing with that space? Okay, A35 is going to get away. He's not even going to die inside his bug. On the Chakiro, runs right back in. 12 minutes in, he's only level 4. Won't do too much. ROG, They need to make more space for Archmage. He wants that blink. He wants those BOTs. Probably once he gets that blink dagger is when he can really start contributing in these team fights. What I'm a bit puzzled about is why Cullies are just giving up this tier 1 tower up top. They gave the tier 1 tower bottom. They're looking to find Archmage at mid, but they aren't really succeeding. And falling slowly has got to be careful. The toss is there. And that's one way of breaking trees. What? Falling slowly? Okay, Primal Spring, Honor Shrine, the Centaur Conqueror stuns him up. A35's got to be careful. This isn't the safest part of the map, and with the Magnetize, he's going to tick down over time. Zeal just securing the kill with as many remnants as needed, and they're going to glimpse him back into the Static Storm. A35 still alive though. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled onto A35, and he's going to finally end up falling. The damage over time more than enough. Falling slowly does end up escaping for the time being, and I think Evil Ash just ended up TPing mid. A35 just overextending a slight bit there. Might find Zedisbug as well. The Primal Spring is there. Zedisbug slowed down a bit, turns around, drops the Ice Path. Boundless Strike committed. Zedisbug accepts his fate and just sacrifices his life. I think the tomb's been given over to Evil Ash, and he's got the nighttime, and he's also got darkness if need be. I want to see ROG try and apply pressure across the map, but they want to do this with a little bit of vision, with maybe ZXC's Blink Dagger or a Shadow Blade, which he has now picked up. Maybe this is when they go hunting for pickoffs. They're not looking too good as far as vision is concerned. They have one ward up top near the safe lane. I think he doesn't offer too much useful information at this point of the game. And Cullies, two defensive wards trying to keep their safe laner alive. Up top though, their safe laner might just end up falling. ZXC got the damage and gonna find himself the Monkey King. So now falling slowly, he's got to be careful. He can't approach these lanes anymore all by himself. But there's the risk of a tiny just waiting to pick you off. I think everyone, with the exception of maybe the Viper and the Phoenix, everyone else on the side of the Cullies have got to be careful. As Evil Ash put a point into the Crippling Fear. Okay. Yeah, he's got the Crippling Fear. He's going to try and apply some pressure under the Phoenix. But Phoenix, A-okay for the time being. Evil Ash though, is going to get glimpsed back into the Static Storm. The Boulder Smash, the Grip, the Magnetize. And with that Sunray, they bring down the Night Stalker. That's 30 seconds of night time, where the ROG Titans can't do too much, and they might lose A35 as well. Now, the Boundless Strike committed. A35 could have looked to just TP out, but he didn't have a TP, and then that Nether Toxin. I mean, it slipped my mind, but they've got the break that they need to bring down the Enchantress. But the Nether Toxin break applied, I mean, A35 just falls really. At mid, they wait, what? Seal goes in with the Rolling Boulder. But ROG, they're making space. Archmage has picked up his BOTs. Wants to be a bit closer to his Blink Dagger, but he'll get there. He needs the Blink, he needs the Aether Lens as well. But ZXC, man on a mission, bumps into the Earth Spirit and tries to clobber him down. But Zeal, with the Boulder Smash and the Rolling Boulder, does manage to get away. Infused Raindrops, saving lives since 2016. Evil Ash, meanwhile, is going to get the deny of mid. Cullies, I think getting that tier 1 tower is going to give them a little bit of map control. A35, he's got the treads, he's got the drums. I wouldn't mind the phase boots. I think the increased turn rate is nice. I think he needs to keep his distance from the Monkey King as well, who's practically a ranged hero. But he's gone for the treads. Wants to tank up. Wants to have this little bit of stats going for him. But yeah, I mean, that HP from the treads doesn't really mean too much when you got the Nether Toxin applied upon you. ZXC though, he's continuously looking for pickups. He might find the Phoenix. The egg not coming through. The Boulder Smash is nice from Zeal. He's done his bit, but without any follow-up, it's nearly meaningless. Falling slowly, moving up top. He's got a Perseverance, his Balfury recipe back home in his stash, but I don't think he can do too much with it. Ice Path coming through from Zetisbug, but he's going to eat the Viper Strike, and this should be a death on that Chukiro. Elsewhere, further north, it seems that they caught out ZXE, but they do not have detection. The detection does come through. They're getting a little bit of vision from the Nether Toxin. They see him now in ZXE. Being run down without a TP, uses his Quelling Blade. I'm not sure if he was the one who stunned up the Monkey King, but ZXE trying to keep himself alive. The March is there, helping him out. Archmage gets glimpsed back, and he might be the one who ends up falling instead of the Tiny. But they're going to find the kill onto the Disruptor, and Archmage could possibly find one more, as it is A35 who picks up Trev for that one onto the Earth Spirit. ROG Titans fighting back, finding a couple of key kills. The good news though for Cullies is that they didn't lose their Monkey King, and falling slowly, just trying to catch up, and he's trying to get that Balfury as soon as possible. ZXE as well as Archmage both ended up surviving. And the ROG Titans, I mean, if they lost ZXE there, it could really hurt their chances of just controlling the mid game even harder. Adrenaline Rush, he's already used his Darkness, and now it's daytime. Once again, the ROG Titans have got to be a bit careful. But 18 minutes in, we've got our first net worth advantage here. And it's 3,000 gold in favor of the ROG Titans. HN6. Been looking good on the Disruptor. He's been playing a rather solid game. I haven't seen Zetisbug's impact just yet in fights. It is hard to find it on the Chakira, but maybe once he gets a point into the Macropire, with a little bit of setup from, say, the Tiny or the Night Stalker, he could do some serious work. But now he's hunting with ZXE. Drops an Observer Ward to the side. Doesn't see too much of the map. ZXE. I mean, this is the mark of a good carry player. You play a hero like the Tiny. Okay, you've been moving around. You've been finding pickoffs. You don't want to get too set in that rhythm. It's also crucial to find your farm at the same time. And he's got another 2,000 gold to his name. I'm curious to see what he builds with it. Zetisbug. What? Nah, Zeal, that's not how it's done. He kicks away Zetisbug away from the range of his Magnetize and then hits the Magnetize. I got that, Zeal. But yeah, Cullies. 20 minutes in. Still holding on here. You can't beat it. He's got himself the Veil of Discord. If there is, I don't know, a good Static Storm or any form of setup here, that Magnetize and even the Supernova is going to hurt a lot. ZXE. Got a double damage rune. 2,400 gold. What could he buy with it that would really have a lot of impact? He's gonna need a BKB. He could go for the Echo Saber. I think he goes into something like an Echo Saber. At mid though, Evil Ash being controlled. Has the extra movement speed from the nighttime. Gets glimpsed back into the Wukong's command. A flurry of ultimates being committed here for the Night Stalker as he ends up falling. The Dire Courier walks into the mid lane and ends up falling as well. There was someone's Spirit Vessel on that Courier, and I think that was Evil Ash. Or Adrenaline Rush. And
are you ready to rumble?
I mean,
you ready to rumble?
It's okay. He's not going to have the Spirit Vessel for a good 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And that Spirit Vessel, it would have certainly helped versus the Viper and the Monkey King. So yeah, ZXE's itemization, I don't think he's going to be going straight into a BKB. It might be a bit too early. Could do Sanjanya or Echo Saber. That's what I'd like to see him build into. Personally, I like the Echo Saber. I mean, you could make a case for the Sanjanya. He does benefit from the movement speed and whatnot. But I'd like to see him build into the Echo Saber. Just be a little bit more aggressive. Of the two items in Tiny, I think Sanjanya is the safer item. And knowing ZXE, I think he's going to be building into something a little bit more aggressive like the Echo Saber. Or something along those lines. Maybe even... Nah, I don't think he completes the Silver Edge just yet. There are cases to be made for the Silver Edge. You can break the Viper's passive. You can also break Jingu Mastery. So what that does is it prevents the Monkey King from picking up any additional Jingu stacks for the duration of the break effect. But if he's already got 4 stacks, it's not going to take them away. It also might be overkill to get it too soon. I think break doesn't last for that long. Both Silver Edge and Halberd, although they're extremely good items per se, fortunately, they don't last for that long. Their active doesn't last on opponents for that long. And if they did, they'd be absolutely broken. Vipers picked up an Ag Scepter. This is going to cause a lot of problems for the side of the RG Titans. Can disable blinks, can control the Tiny, who just likes to move around in these fights. And I think they've spotted this out. I'm not sure if they saw Rizal. I think if they did, they'd probably just run him down. Now they have smoked up, they're moving towards the bottom lane. Rizal senses this, but even then he walks out into the creep wave. Archmage steeping into the creep wave. Rizal should know what's up. The ice path set up for the avalanche is there. And Viper, although he's a goddamn tanky strong hero, does get overwhelmed when you throw multiple units at him. For now though, he isn't going to fall. He's going to turn, he's going to try and bring down Evil Ash. SN6 will clean up on that one. While further north, they're trying to chase for more. They found Zedisbug, who drops an ice path but ends up falling as well. Both supports on the side of the RG Titans do end up falling. And I think the RG Titans have just discovered that it isn't going to be easy to bring down this Viper. That was ZXC trying his best. And even Archmage was there in the vicinity, but despite all of that, they couldn't bring down the Viper. Rizal with the hood and the 8% spell lifesteal even. Staying alive for long enough for the Earth Spirit, the Disruptor, all of them to make their rotations. And the RG Titans, although they've got this small lead, I don't think this game is going to be a walk in the park. Phoenix swoops by, loses half her HP, courtesy the Impetus. I think what I want to see is Evil Ash just tanking up. Just looking to tank up so that he can just run into the lineup of Cullies and draw their attention upon him. And as long as he does that, that's going to make space for both Archmage as well as 835 and the Enchantress to just keep dishing out the damage from range. I'd like to see more of a Sam Age kind of Night Stalker coming up from Evil Ash. The problem is, per position, Night Stalker doesn't get too much farm priority. That could be a problem. So you've now got a Whale and a Spirit Vessel on You Can't Beat It. So that's going to amplify all the magical damage coming out from him, his squad, the Fire Spirits, the Sunray, and even the magical damage coming out from Spirit Vessel. Spirit Vessel is now magical. So I think the RG Titans have got to build BKBs. I said it was too soon for a BKB, but I think ZXC probably wants to build it next. I'm not a fan of this Yasha pickup. Gives him movement speed. But what the side of the RG Titans need right now is a little more kill potential, or just surviving the fight long enough to turn it around and find kills. The Yasha just allows him to move around faster, gives him a little bit of attack speed, allows him to move to camps faster. And now if he goes for a blink, see, he's queued up a blink. The problem is, he's going to get the blink in, say, the next couple of minutes. If the side of the Cullies just hold on for long enough, I think ZXC is going to feel mighty useless with these items of his. He's prioritized mobility, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's going to be enough for him to just keep weaving in and out of the fight and finding multiple pickoffs. But yeah, the Cullies, they played some good Dota. I think one of the signs of a weaker team facing a stronger team is how badly you lose the lanes. And 25 minutes in, the game is dead even. You got to start now looking at the draft and start looking at how this draft plays out as the game goes on longer and longer. And for one, I don't see how the Cullies go high ground. They're only going to go high ground if they win a team fight versus RG Titans, and the RG Titans don't have buyback. I don't see how the Cullies do Roshan either. They're not a great lineup at taking down Roshan. At least with the liquid fire and the enchantress and maybe a couple of summons, the RG Titans can take down Roshan a little more quicker than the side of the Cullies. And Archmage, how's he looking as far as farm is concerned? He's building into the Dagon. Um, okay. I think what the RG Titans are looking to accomplish here is just burst down one hero and take the fight from there on. I think a case can be made for the Dagon here because you want to burst down the Phoenix before the Phoenix gets off the supernova, in which case the Dagon could work. Maybe him in conjunction with ZXC, they could probably just quickly burst down the Phoenix. And I think you also got to start considering for the possibility that, okay, he's taking the GPM talent, but if he wants, he could build an Ag Scepter. Uh, the reason I'm bringing up the Ag Scepter is that it kind of makes it harder for the side of the RG Titans to really focus heroes in fights. The Supernova could just probably save anyone, and I think a save is handy when you got RG Titans building into so much burst damage. Um, it's also going to help their cause if they want to go high ground. Probably just send the Monkey King. If you want to use the Supernova to reset his HP after he cops a fair amount of damage from the March and the Tinker and whatnot. But yeah, there are options. He's going for the Lotus Orb, which I like. I think the armor is going to help him out a bit. And I think there are a lot of spells against which the Lotus Orb would do work. It take away the Laser Blind. It take away the Crippling Fear. Um, I'm pretty certain it doesn't return too much, but just using the Lotus Orb to dispel some of these big team fight control spells coming out from from the side of RG Titans could be pretty good. I think you can see Archmage building into that Dagon, and he wants to be able to focus on someone. And as long as the Phoenix is there, he can punish Tinker for just throwing out all his spells on one single hero. Possibly you can't beat it has spotted out Archmage and him building into this Dagon, so the Lotus Hub would do well in such a scenario. Well, those of you just tuning in, you're watching the ESL India Premiership. This is the summer season, day 30. We got the RG Titans walking into this fixture with a we got the RG Titans walking into this fixture with a lot of confidence after beating Signifier, but I don't know. This matchup against Cullies isn't looking all that easy. We've got a couple of technical issues, PC problems on the side of RG Titans. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. And as soon as this game gets underway, we'll jump right back into it. Do not go anywhere, folks. You're watching the ESL India Premiership. We'll be back after a quick commercial break.
That was beast. Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
The ESL India Premiership 2018 has 3 seasons: summer, fall, and winter. The summer season takes place from April to June, while the fall season runs from July to September. Finally, the winter season takes place from October to December. Coming to tournament formats, each season is divided into 3 tiers: the professional tier, the Master League; the semi-professional tier, the Challenger Series; the Open tier, the Starter Cups. Moving on to the frequency, every season in the ESL India Premiership 2018 will see 1 Master League, 3 Challenger Series, and 3 Starter Cups. The Masters League now hosts 12 teams and players. Meanwhile, the Challenger Series has 8 contestants and follows a double elimination format. Finally, the Starter Cups are now limited to only 128 participants, so make sure you register for the Premiership now. Once you register for the Starter Cup 1, you'll have to fight your way to the top. At the end of the phase, you will get promoted to the Challenger Series 1. You should try and maintain your position in the Challenger Series 1, 2, and 3. But this is no easy task. At the end of every phase, the bottom 2 contestants are dropped out. They are replaced by the top teams from the Starter Cups. Those who succeed in the Challenger Series are rewarded with promotion to the Master League. The top 4 teams will proceed to play in the next season's Masters League. Meanwhile, the Master League runs uninterrupted until the end of the season. The 12 champions will constantly try to establish their dominance over the others. But at the end of a season, the bottom 4 teams are relegated to the Challenger Series, while the top 4 play at the LAN finale for the top prize. ESL India Premiership 2018 begins in April. The registrations are on, so make sure you sign up now.
Folks, looks like we are... Okay, folks, looks like we are back. Satisbug had a small PC issue. All his players got a little too overexcited and started drawing lines on the map. Unfortunately, a few got bored and just decided to leave. But this game, things are just starting to get interesting. And Zeal nearly catches the Tinker there. Archmage, playing with fire here. Zeal knows where he is. Nope, not gonna try. But yeah, 25 minutes in, Cullies, they managed to stay even for a large part of the game, and they're trying to converge upon this top lane. Look at this Zeal. Yeah, Nether Toxin. Giving a little bit of vision. A35 is here though. Okay. I have vision of the Earth Spirit. I think that was A35 giving vision for those heat-seeking missiles. But yeah, this is where Tinker starts to become a problem. He's also not going for that Dagon anymore. The Lotus Herb is still going to be just as good, even versus the Sheepstick that Archmage is building towards. But yeah, you might... I don't think there's... Look at this. Zeal, come on. This is the 3rd time, if I'm not mistaken, that the Cullies have stunned their own Monkey King. They're also giving up a tier 2 tower down bottom. Satisbug claims the free tier 2 tower in Cullies. They're trading a tier 2 for tier 1. They might also lose their tier 1 tower at mid. And all of a sudden, the ROG Titans, they're just getting map control across the map for free without being contested. The good news is that ZXC can just come back and backdoor this when he feels the time is right. Evil Ash just walks into the mid lane and he's got a Spirit Vessel upon him. The Sunray is there, the Viper Strike as well. I'm not really sure what Evil Ash was hoping to accomplish. And Zeal blinks ahead a bit too much, has the grip that's going to reveal Archmage, but he might pay with his own life. Another Spirit Vessel being committed, this time onto A35. The Icarus Dive is there as well. The Viper Strike, it's going to do some magic damage over time onto A35. But I think he's going to be okay. He doesn't have the nature's attendance. He's dropping low, but elsewhere. ZXC comes in from the backlines, and along with Zeresbach, they'll find themselves HN6. ROG Titans, they lose the Night Stalker, but they end up finding both supports on the side of the Cullies. And ZXC is already on the hunt for more. Could just decide to backdoor the tower. Yeah, he's going to backdoor the tower. Rizal, he's got that completed pipe along with the Axe Scepter. The pipe, it's going to help to some extent versus the Tinker. I don't know, many of the best minds across the world have come up with some of the best drafts ever in the history of Dota. And one hero called the Tinker has ensured that they couldn't end the game for a good 40 minutes. Heck, they've even lost the game sometimes. This time it's just not the Tinker show. It's ZXC who's been moving across the map, finding these pickups. That's going to propel him closer and closer towards his BKB. Elash, I don't think he got spotted out by the Viper. It is nighttime, so he's got a slight vision advantage here. And he's just going to run away from the Viper. A35, he's completed the Hurricane Pike. I like that Hurricane Pike pickup, especially versus the Monkey King. And he's building towards a BKB himself. The good news for the side of the Cullies is that Viper Strike pierces spell immunity. And it's still a fair amount of control. The bad news is that they just run at you with these BKBs. I don't know if the Cullies are going to be able to do too much. They're losing structures. ROG just claiming towers at will here. And all of a sudden, they found their footing. Cullies trying to group up bottom. They got the Viper Strike, the Primal Spring as well. They might find Archmage, but there's the Hurricane Pike from A35. The captain of the ROG Titans sacrificing his own life so that Archmage could live. But the Glimpse pulling back the Tinker, and they'll find more as Rizal gets himself a double. They lose the Enchantress, the Tinker, and the Jakiro. All of that courtesy the Glimpse coming up from HN6 there. Punishing Archmage. Just being a bit out of position. It's also this Observer Ward just helping out Cullies fight a little bit more effectively around this bottom tier 1, and now they're pushing for a tier 2 tower. I think no matter what the outcome of this game is, I think the Cullies should be extremely proud of themselves. They played some really good Dota. There are a bunch of familiar names and some newer names, and they come together and they're playing really well as a team. And I really sincerely hope that we see more of this the same lineup in a lot more tournaments. There are a bunch of tournaments already that have been announced in the Indian competitive circuit. I want to see more of Cullies. I want to see what this team can do. And I think just having the balls to pick what they wanted versus the Tinker and making it work. This is some good stuff here. You know what? I'm actually going to... We've got what seems to be another issue, but I'm not going to cut to a break. I'm actually going to look at some statistics here. And I want to see... So I know the Cullies did beat Nefarious. Okay, there it is. So I've got the stats to some extent. So they began by winning versus Nefarious. That was their first match. They beat the Council. Who else? Okay, looks like the game is underway. Zeresbach is back. But yeah, they've been playing some good Dota, and I think teams like Buriza and Reckoning, they've slowly got to recognize and respect the fact that there's a team that's as good, if not better than them, in the Masters League. And it truly is a team effort coming out from Cullies. It's not that one player is single-handedly carrying them, or one player has decent net worth and has somewhat decent items, but the others don't. They're all playing equally well. It isn't one player stealing the show. The Viper's got farm, the Monkey King has got farm, the Phoenix keeping the GPM coming in. All three cores have been putting in some work here. And 31 minutes in, really no net worth to separate both these sides. I'm going to take a look at EXP. It's slightly leaning towards the Cullies. The net worth, it's been one with minor ups and downs. Anyone that invests in cryptocurrency would be familiar with a graph of that sort, but really nothing separating both these sides. The EXP slightly in favor of the Cullies. And Viper, he's picked up a BKB. And this is when you start to hope that there's enough physical damage on the side of ROG Titans. ZXC dishes out some physical damage. He's going to complete his Sanjay Nyasha. A35 pierces spell immunity with that impetus of his. But do they have enough to bring down a Viper? Maybe in isolation, sure. But if Ryzel just moves with his team and fights with his team, which is what he has been doing, I don't think he's going to end up falling all that easily. I think you can't beat it. Did spot out ZXC pick up that Invis rune. And Viper even going for the 100 Viper strike damage per second, along with that Ag Scepter. He's getting closer and closer to that level 25 talent of his. Viper just leading the EXP and the network charts. Archmage didn't go for the sacrifice, ends up going for the Dagon instead. Now, I think if the Phoenix... wait, what? Okay, they're just pushing bottom. Have the Cullies got detection? Yeah. Phoenix is holding on to some detection. They need a little bit of lockdown to punish this Tiny. But yeah, there are going to be other problems to the side of the Cullies. And I think one of those is that Evil Ash, he's been starting to just focus on farming up. And once he gets his Ag Scepter, things are going to be really difficult for the side of the Cullies. In fact, I'd actually like to see them pop a smoke and try and find a couple of pickouts, because that might open up Roshan for them. They're still not one of the fastest sides when it comes to taking down Roshan.
Are you ready to rumble?
But yeah, getting your hands on the Aegis at this stage of the game would basically allow Cullies to take tier 2 towers. A35 really confident that Zeresbog will reconnect. He's asked the Cullies to resume, but the Cullies... they're being sports. They're going to wait until the... Wait. Okay. They want to wait. But ZXC ends up resuming. Both teams are showing a lot of love for each other here. A lot of vision coming out from the Cullies as well. They're overseeing the offlane half of the jungle. They've got a Tinker ward. When they were pushing this tier 2, I presume this was when it was planted. They've got one observer ward. A lot of good vision actually. And the ROG Titans have just got this one observer ward looking over their safe lane bounty rune. It isn't much, but it is something. And I think it spotted out... Did it? I don't know. Looks like we got an engagement at mid. There's the Hurricane Pike. A35 copying a fair amount of damage, but the March will allow him to get away. And Ryzel, I mean, he's starting to become a problem. ROG, it looks like they're trying to split push as much as possible. I think the ROG Titans need to get some wards done. Is Zeresbog holding on to them? I don't know. He's got a Yule Scepter. It's gonna buy him some time in the Static Storm. That's gonna keep here. It's gonna keep him alive also in case the Magnetize is thrown upon him. The Use does dispel the Magnetize. And he's building into an Ag Scepter here. Huh. I don't know. I mean, one could make a case for more utility, maybe a Glimmer Cape, maybe a Force Staff, maybe even a Spirit Vessel, but I don't think he's going to get charges for that this late. Maybe a Halberd. Both teams happy to just slow down the game, and Cullies gonna try and find the Tinker, but they won't be too successful. Falling slowly up in the trees, does see ZXC. I think he sees Zed's Bog as well. And yeah, ZXC's got to be careful. Boundary Strike is there. That should have set up for the Side Storm, but HN6 gets control. Even then, they're going to find themselves Zed's Bug. And that's ZXC just expending a fresh 10-second BKB. Even if that Static Storm came out, I think the Tiny was going to be okay. As HN6, he's still searching for his Ag Scepter. I think this is one of the most key late game items that any hero can buy, and that's an Ag Scepter and a Disruptor. That's going to ensure that you don't get spells off. That's going to ensure that you don't get to pop your items as well. But yeah, Cullies, they've got other problems to be concerned about. How do they go high ground? How do they play with this reduced vision courtesy the Night Stalker? Look at this ROG. It is nighttime. They've got excuse me. They've got the Ag Scepter and Adrenaline Rush, and they're going to move into the pit. I don't think the Cullies know what's going on. Falling slowly, I mean, just jumping onto the trees further west on the edges of the map. Isn't looking to contest Roshan. Earth Spirit and Rizal, they're standing at a bounty room. And yeah, ROG, they're going to find themselves Aegis and Cheese. Who's got the cheese here? The Archmage? Wait, does Adrenaline... Who was... Wait, was this the first Roshan? I thought this was the second Roshan. Am I... Okay, I think it was the first Roshan. My bad. But falling slowly, he's found himself a Shadow Blade. He's going to be looking for these solo pickoffs. Zerisburg, I mean, he wants to Yule the Monkey King and not himself. But he doesn't get the opportunity to press any of his buttons, and he's just going to end up falling. Now, yeah, this is what Evil Ash needs to do. Hunter in the night along with the Ag Scepter. He's found himself the Monkey King. He's got the Spit Vessel. Falling slowly, moves into the trees. But look at this. Evil Ash just keeping the vision coming in ZXC. They're going to walk in. Archmage is there with the March. Falling slowly. He's got himself the Shadow Blade and he turns. He brings down Archmage and reinforcements have arrived. The Phoenix is there with the Supernova. They look to bring down Evil Ash. They've brought down the Night Stalker. The Tinker fell as well. And ZXC looking around with their Aegis Office. Falling slowly with that BKB. Looking to give chase. They've got Detection. They've got the Sunray. And that Spit Vessel. And without his teammates, ZXC and the Tiny can try his best, but he's not going to get too much. The Tree Toss might find himself Zeal. He's running down. You can't beat it. Someone control this Tiny while falling slowly. Moves on to A35. Tries to leave with the Enchantress, but the Hurricane Pike keeping A35 alive, giving him that space he needed while ZXC pops his BKB. Doesn't find the kill, but they'll find the Earth Spirit together. However, HN6 is here. He's got the Glimmer Cape. Has vision with the Thunder Strike, the Sunray. That'll take away the Aegis and HN6. With the Stack Storm and the Wukong's command, they should find themselves the Tiny. They've got the Viper Strike, and ZXC will end up falling. The Cullies, they take away the Aegis, they bring down Archmage, they find themselves the Night Stalker as well as Zed's Bug. And all of a sudden, they're the ones looking for a tier 2 tower. That was ROG fighting with the Aegis and being schooled. "39 minutes in, no one really coming out on top here. This game is dead even, and once, if all they've got to do is let HN6 hit level 20. You want him to get that GPM talent. Once he gets that GPM talent, he's going to find his Ag Scepter a lot more easily. And then the RG Titans are going to have some real problems in these team fights. They've already lost all the tier 2 towers. Cullies, they still have the tier 2 tower at mid. And all of a sudden, they're thinking about going high ground, but this isn't going to be easy. It isn't going to be easy at all. I mean, I can't blame the RG Titans for what they did, because they're like, we got Aegis. We got an Ag Scepter on our Night Stalker, just run down the stupid Monkey King and kill him. But instead, they're the ones who end up losing Archmage. And I think you got to respect that Boundless Strike. And falling slowly, in the previous fight, just had his Sanjay Ashra Shadow Blade as well as the Battlefield. And now he's going to have another item. Can he build really? He could go for an AC. That armor. See, he's got his BKB, right? So you want kill potential. Do you want a nullifier so that ZXC doesn't get his BKB off? That could be an option. Or would you much rather have an Abyssal Blade into an AC? He's got options. He's holding on to the gold for now. Perched atop the trees. Is trying to punish Archmage if he gets a little too over aggressive while pushing out the side lanes. And Archmage, he's just sitting in base now. He's got the gold for the Scythe of Vice. This could be the item that the RG Titans were looking for. I thought that item was going to be the Ag Scepter, but it clearly wasn't. And yeah, Archmage, TP's up top, cancelled his TP. Huh. And now we got his Scythe of Vice complete on the Phoenix. Give this man his level 20. Let him get that GPM talent. So I think the 40-minute tomb. I think the tombs come online every 10 minutes and he had the 40-minute tomb. I'm not sure if he was the one who consumed it. But he's getting closer and closer to his Ag Scepter. 2 components away. And Archmage planting a Tinker Ward himself. Just so that he can push out the side lane. And I think the RG Titans know that falling slowly is just chilling in the tree line. Waiting for the Tinker to show himself. Archmage, he's got a lot of gold, but I think he wants to keep fire back to himself as well. Falling slowly, he's got to be careful. TPs could come in, and yeah, there's Adrenaline Rush. Or rather, there's Archmage. ZXC TPs into Shrine. Zeal does have detection, has a Force Staff as well. Now, the RG Titans, they are fighting with a huge advantage as far as vision is concerned. They've got the Night Stalker, but it seems as if they don't want to fight, which probably is the correct call to make, because if they fight now and they don't have buyback, and they really don't have buyback on the Tinker, they could lose a tier 3 tower, maybe even Drax. That is Bug. Gotta be careful. Spirit Vessel upon him, gets hexed as well, and this should be an easy kill. Falling slowly. Just finding kills at will, yeah. Beautiful stuff coming out from the cores on the side of the Cullies. They've kept their net worth going. It's a particularly hard task on a hero like the Viper, who without something like a Maelstrom doesn't really flash farm as say a Monkey King would with the Battle Fury. But Ryzel has continuously been farming. He's getting closer and closer to the AC, which tells me that the Monkey King might look okay. He's actually going for a Lincoln Sphere. I don't know. Doesn't he want an Abyssal? Adrenaline Rush. It is daytime. He's got to be careful. The Jingu built up. The Boundless Strike is there as well. They're trying to bring down Evil Ash. Evil Ash dropping low. But there's Archmage with the Hex, with the heat-seeking missiles. And now ROG will look to turn. But Zeal from the low ground tries to get the grip off. But they've lost Falling slowly. And Archmage turning it around. Tries to control the Earth Spirit. But there's the Viper Strike. Can they cancel his TP? They've got nothing to cancel his TP. And Archmage will live on the back lines. HN6 ends up falling. ZXC is here with his BKB. Adrenaline Rush finally ends up falling. Ryzel with a BKB of his own looking to turn. ZXC is being controlled. He has no choice but to back off. Phoenix has got a Hex of his own. But at the end of it all, Cullies, they lose 3. They find themselves the Night Stalker. Not the ideal fight at all. HN6 really feeling the heat without... I mean, without the Static Storm, Cullies, they're not as much of a threat as they think they are. And Archmage just spamming out the well played, recognizing that I think there's... Yeah, that Lotus up. He isn't too happy about that one. This Tinker Ward though should have been pinged, yeah. Zedis Bug just goes and drops his own Tinker Ward up there. So Cullies, they should be a little bit more careful about that top lane. 835, I mean, he's been farming away. He's getting closer and closer to his MKB. 100 magical damage whenever that procs. And the True Strike, I don't know if he He needs it that badly, but I guess it helps his damage output altogether. Should he have maybe built more defensive items just so that he could run in, soak up damage, and allow Archmage and ZXC to do most of the heavy lifting in these fights? That could have been one route, but instead he's looking to dish out damage rather than soak it up. Cullies did lose their mid-tier DOTA, and I think both teams have woken up to the fact that they're one team fight away from losing this game. I think you lose the team fight, you don't have buyback, could be a tier 3 tower or your barracks falling. HN6 man needs that Axe Scepter, needs that huge static storm to come through in these fights. Falling slowly. It's walking through the bottom lane. Have they got gems? I think I saw a gem on. Yep. So Evil Ash has picked up a gem. And we have a pause. That is bug disconnects yet again. And I think falling slowly has got to be a little bit more careful. He's got that Lincoln Sphere, but it's really no protection versus Archmage. I mean, the only way he escapes this is if he pops his BKB and TPs out of there, but he hasn't got a TP. Falling slowly could end up falling, and this could really cost the Cullies. Yeah, the Primal Spring is there. Archmage does see him though, and that's the advantage of that vision coming up from the Night Stalker. Now he's popped his BKB. Evil Ash could keep chasing, but backup is on through. There's the Phoenix with the Hex. Commits the Supernova. Gets the kill. The bot down Archmage is chasing for more. Darkness committed by Evil Ash. Looks to run. Has the Hunt in the night. He's gonna be okay, but the Phoenix does consider chasing. They just can't really catch up with this Night Stalker. And an overextension here might lead to a death. Falling slowly. Pushed back by the Hurricane Pike. Revealed by the gem. Might end up falling. And indeed, A35 with the Impetus does a fair amount of work. Another Hex coming through. The Geomagnetic Grip is there onto the Enchantress, but they'll push deal with the Evil Ash. They bring down the Night Stalker and A35, just running ham with his BKB. His BKB is starting to time out, and the Cullies will look to run him down. Zeal has 2 more remnants to work with. And I think the ROG Titans have recognized that they do need Zedis Buck to win this game. They've got buybacks though on both the Night Stalker and the Tinker. They can buy back if they need to. Deal. Well, the rolling boulder is going to miss, but the boulder smash won the Enchantress. Controlled by the Yule Scepter. Caught in the kinetic field. Should end up falling. This has been a really costly fight for the side of the ROG Titans. And all the Cullies have to do is march down the bottom lane and force out buybacks. Because without the Tinker, I'm not really sure how the ROG Titans hold this. Zenisbog constantly having PC issues. Gets knocked out of the high ground, and despite being disconnected, it's going to end up dying. Well, they're trying their best to micro him, but he'll tick down to Rizal. Cullies with 4 heroes on the side of the ROG Titans down. They should look to push this bottom lane, but the creep wave, it's far, far behind. And Zeal is going to TP up top to deal with the top wave. Now, he did have 2 remnants, but he's left HN6 here. And HN6 has that Ag Scepter. This could be the item that really turns around the fights for the side of the Cullies. They won a fight, they weren't able to claim too many structures, and despite Rizal having the gem, he gets caught out by ZXC. ZXC, multiple instances of the toss, will try and punish the Viper, but the Lotus up, keeping Rizal alive. The Phoenix, however, not so lucky. Archmage with the control, sets up for ZXC as they bring down the Phoenix, and Archmage jumps onto the high ground, finds HN6, they retrieve their gem, and they might chase for more. Rizal, with a gem of his own, moves into the trees, but Evil Ash, just running through the lane, has that vision. He's looking to cancel his TP, and the Lotus Hub, although it reflects the void, doesn't quite block it. 2 piggies chasing one another, but Archmage, the piggy with the Dagon, comes out on top. By this game, it's been back and forth. ROG Titans And they played a fair amount of this game. 4 versus 5. At least a good 2-3 minutes. But the Cullies playing some quality Dota themselves. ZXC now has that butterfly. So he's got that armor coming in from the butterfly. He's got that movement speed from the flutter. And more importantly, the attack speed. You know what? I actually have Zetisbog on my friends list, and I'm constantly seeing this guy start his Dota, have his Dota quit. He's having some real technical issues today, and I just hope he gets back into the server and his computer gets fixed. This is Roshan number 2, not the previous one, and this one has Aegis and Cheese, and the RG Titans, they're going to claim it to the side of the Cullies, want to contest this. Evil Ash is here, has a gem, sees falling slowly. A35 just proccing that link, it's with the impetus. Evil Ash not choosing to get the fight going. It's ZXC who's running forward. Archmage links into the neutral creep camp. They see falling slowly, but falling slowly with the primal spring. Keeps his distance going. The glimmer capes are there. HN6 maybe wants to turn and drop the stacks down, but he's going to get hexed up. First adrenaline rush running forward. Wants the void and the crippling fear to come through, but the boundless strike pushes him away. And the Cullies, they're now on high ground defense duty. That is what. Giving ROG the experience of what an SEA pub feels like. And ROG just playing with that little handicap. Trying to fine-tune their game altogether. They've got themselves Aegis and Cheese. They did Roshan, only S4. And they've got, for the first time, it feels like one side really has a commanding lead. You know, all these factors are really null and void. As long as this man, HN6, as long as he gets off a good static storm, Cullies can just swing back right into the game. Problem is, there isn't the greatest amount of setup for him. Can't see who's pausing the game really. Not sure who's pausing the game. But the RG Titans are happy to play this 4v5. I think more than happy to play this 4v5. They know that Zetisbog's machine is really really messed up, and they're just going to try and work without it. 5 position players making sacrifices even after being disconnected. Look at this, they're smoked up. It is nighttime. Evil Ash sees one, sees Ryzel. If they bring down Ryzel, it could be huge. They haven't got the break, but they got the Hex. There's ZXC with the Silver. They want to bring down the Viper, but Viper pops his BKB. ZXC's got to be careful. The Wukong's come on with that extended AoE, controlling all of them. Jakiro will end up falling in. ZXC looks to run, but he's going to get glimpsed back. Glimpsed right back into the center of the static storm. The Supernova and the Wukong's come on, and he's going to fall. Zeal goes in with the Rolling Thunder or the Rolling Boulder, but he's going to end up falling. Falling slowly, pops his BKB, but the pure damage from the Impet is just a bit too much. And Evil Ash, with a BKB of his own, wants to run down the Monkey King. Spells being thrown left and right. HN6 will fall to Archmage, and ROG Titans have only lost the Jakiro. They can look to hang around. They got that vision from the Night Stalker. They've got most of the key cores alive. Almost all the key cores alive. And they could look to go high ground. They've only found themselves both the supports, but they have pushed out the Supernova. They have pushed out the Wukong's command. And they've got the March to help them out. Ouch. Has he... Yeah, he's gone for the plus 50% boundless strike crit. I mean, just landing the boundless strike is going to do so much. ZXC doing work with that silver edge, but still, they need more than one hex and one break from the silver edge to bring down the wipe up. Zetisbog trying his best to reconnect. Falling slowly, looking for a pickoff. This is when you gotta be careful as a core, because you might go hunting for these pickoffs, but if you do end up dying, it could very well be the end of the game, or it could force you into buying back. I think at this stage of the game, anyone from either team getting picked off is really going to cost them. It is nighttime for another 2 minutes. They've still got the cheese onto ZXC, and now he's spilling into a dead list. Man, this guy's gonna hit hard. He's got it. He's got the gold for the Demon Edge. But he wants to farm his buyback? What's Archmage building into? He's building into his own BKB. Which would be nice for the Phoenix. Falling slowly. I mean, the trees are no more safe, my friend. It seems as if the side of ROG is just waiting to farm buybacks. Maybe after they farm enough for buybacks, they might smoke again. For now, I really like what Evil Ash and Archmage are doing. It's always Evil Ash leading the charge, and then Archmage is using the level 2 BOTs to join Evil Ash. I think they've got a ridiculous amount of kill potential between these two. The Night Stalker just provides the vision, keeps running down heroes, and with the Tinker Scythe of Vice and Dagon, they should be able to bring down nearly anyone. And the Cullies have recognized this. They're all just sitting in their own base. They've got to hope that the Boundless Strike sets up for a good static storm. That is how they want to start and hopefully end a team fight. Because if they do get a decent static storm, at least onto 2 heroes, it could really help their cause in these team fights. Zetispark, even despite being disconnected, he's looking well as far as net worth is concerned. Obviously, he's got a 150 GPM talent, but yeah, he's got a good amount of EXP as well. He's getting more EXP than the Disruptor. Huh. And this is despite him being disconnected. What the hell? When did he pick up? When did he pick up an Octarine? Okay. So I think I don't know. I think Jakiro might just be the hero you want to pick up if you have bad internet. Because Zetispark is being disconnected. He's got himself an Axe and an Octarine. He's found himself EXP. I don't know where he's getting all this from. And now he's got the Axe Scepter. So increased Macropire length, duration, and damage. Has he taken the Macropire? No, that's at level 25. The Macropire pierces spell immunity and is pure. Gonna end up falling down. Yeah, they'll find themselves Zetispark. Not really sure what the ROG Titans are waiting for. They've got Cheese. They did lose the Aegis in the previous engagement. ZXC's picked up some huge damage items here, but I don't think there's any onus once again on ROG to just force the issue here. They are squeezing Cullies into their side of the map. The Cullies are being a bit cautious about pushing out these lanes. I think they try and push out lanes when it's daytime, and try and just total whenever it is nighttime. Evil Ash, I mean, he's going to start causing problems himself. Also, I mean, another thing about the Disruptor Static Storm is that if you... Wait, hold on. Mid lane, falling slowly. Well, they're going to try and bring down A35 here. They've got the damage with the Viper Strike. They should find it. He pops his BKB. It isn't going to do too much. A35 dealt with. Cullies. Well, they found 2 kills. But can they find anything else in the back of this? Yeah, so the... Oh, what? Come on. Evil Ash. Evil Ash. Okay. BKB TP is gonna be okay. Yeah, now you got the Accept on the Phoenix, so you got that Saber. Just in case. This is even building towards a refresher of Zeal. What's he looking like? He's got himself his own GPM talent. $59 minutes in. 10,000 net worth advantage in favor of the RG Titans, and they might find Zeal. I mean, Archmage is teaming in, but they should get that kill either way. The Phoenix committed the Icarus dive, got stuck in the ice part. Sure, the Glimmer Cape is there, but they've got through side. The Phoenix trying to help out his poor little Earth Spirit, ends up dying himself, and HN6, he used the Glimmer Cape, and he's going to get punished as well. That's a gem on the deck, and now the RG Titans are just surging forward. Another Hex onto the Viper, but they will not pursue. Falling Slowly is here with that Silver Edge. Buyback coming out from the Earth Spirit. They've got buybacks on the Disruptor as well as the Phoenix. But the RG Titans are going to do a little bit of damage in terms of economy and just back off. I think they're waiting for the next Roshan now. It's going to be a refresher shot on that one. Who do they want to give it to? It depends. I mean, you could argue for having Darkness available. ZXC with those toss charges could have a little bit of fun himself. There are options. Maybe, I don't know. What do you want to give it? What? Come on, Falling Slowly. I think even if he hit that, he'd not find that kill. And Falling Slowly, he's built this Lincoln Sphere, and now when I look back upon it, I was really advocating for something like a Nullifier or an Abyssal Blade. This Lincoln Sphere, I don't know if it's done enough. Wait, Falling Slowly. I think they know. They do see him, and yeah, Archmage is TPing in. He's standing on cover of the Shadow Blade, but that Lincoln Sphere isn't going to protect him. He needs his BKB, but he's getting bashed, and the Hexes are there. The Earth Spirit rolls in, ends up falling as well. Cullies. I mean, those were really costly. That's I mentioned this. If any core, heck, any hero on either side gets picked off like that this late in the game, it's going to cost you. With all your tier 2 towers down, you now got to force buybacks. The RG Titans, they can just keep pushing mid and kind of possibly force Cullies to choose between defending bottom. I said mid, but I meant bottom, or contesting Roshan. Archmage, he's gone in, he's doing work with his Earth Blade, but the Hex is there from the Phoenix. They're trying to bring down the Tinker. 4 staffs are there, but Archmage should end up falling, and yes, the Phoenix gets the kill. Another disconnect, another paused. Another pause, but who paused the game? Can't really see his name, but they might find that is Bug here. That is Bug, dies, drops the Macropire before he dies, and Enchantress will fall as well. The RG Titans is getting a little sloppy there. Gonna get punished for it. Now, Evil Ash is moving towards Roshan. Yeah, Roshan is up. Archmage is getting a little too over enthusiastic there, just diving a bit too deep. Gets punished. I love how the Phoenix is playing these fights. Just waits until the Tinker shows himself, goes in with the Icarus dive and controls the Tinker, and tries to bring down I mean all of Cullies. As soon as the Tinker is hexed, they all focus their attention upon Archmage and they try and bring him down. Evil Ash, 4 position, Night Stalker, soloing Roshan all by himself, but not for long. ZXC is here. And yeah, this should be easy. This is Aegis, she's in a refresher shot. Now the Cullies should know that something is up. They're moving towards the pit. If the RG Titans get caught with their pants down around the Rosh pit, it could be really costly. The refresher shot on the floor. Phoenix moves in, gets toss controlled by the Avalanche. Multiple instances of the toss. Quick Icarus dive keeping the Phoenix alive. They really didn't get the refresher shot. They didn't get the cheese either. And Evil Ash, he's out of here. He's got the cheese. He's got the gem. Can pop the cheese if need be. They are chasing for this Night Stalker. Zeal blinking forward. Evil Ash, with that advantage in terms of vision, is going to be okay. Ah, boy, these two are quick. Both Evil Ash as well as ZXC just picking up all these items quickly. And now with Archmage respawning, they could look to pick off the Monkey King again. ZXC, he's holding on to the refresher shot. I'm pretty sure he passes it on to someone. Okay, so he picked up everything at Roshan. I think that cheese on the Night Stalker, which he did end up using, was from the previous engagement. You got a refresher orb now complete on the Phoenix. I mean, sure, 2 supernovas are great, but you want to see 2 hexes as well. ROG, they're looking to close this game though. This tier 3 tower should fall. They're going for the finish. They commit the macro fire. ZXC will claim the tier 3 tower for himself. ZXC controlled by the Viper Strike. Has the Shadow Blade. Will get glimpsed back. But he's not too bothered. The Sun Ray is there. It is a fair amount of damage. ZXC has the Aegis. And even if he dies, they found themselves a Viper. ZXBog with the crisscross of the macro fire helps secure the kill onto the Viper. And now HN6, he's got to be careful. The damage is there. They'll fall with that heat-seeking missile coming out from the Tinker. The Hurricane Pike doing a fair amount of work. Seal with that Yule Scepter is going to be okay. They've got to buy back on the Disruptor and the Viper if they want to defend this. Evil Ash just pounding away on the structures here with that increased attack speed courtesy in the night time. ZXC has got to be careful, but the Earth Spirit goes into the Ice Path, gets control, loses a fair amount of HP, and ZXC will just pop his BKB and drop, but he's going to get glimpsed right back. Glimpsed he is, looks to turn, gets a crit. The Monkey King just manning up, looks to get the Wukong's command off, but the Ice Path! The Ice Path from ZXBog just controlling, falling slowly, and the Monkey King is down for a good 113 seconds. Evil Ash, along with the rest of ROG, will just cruise through the bottom lane, and the Monkey King disconnects. I think the Cullies should know that he doesn't have buyback. Okay, they called it. Have they actually called it? Okay, looks like they have. A rather anticlimactic finish here, but what a great game. 65 minutes. Some really good decision making and itemization coming out from both teams. But ROG Titans just coming out on top here, showing us that they have what it takes to end the game quickly around the mid game, and showing us that they have what it takes to play out these really tense late game situations. Anyway, folks, that's it as far as today's Dota 2 broadcast is concerned. My name is Vivek. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can ping me at facebook.com/VEEWAK casting. I'm going to throw it over to the panel. Angela and Wagish, it's all yours.
And there we go, ROG Titans securing another victory for themselves and sitting undefeated on that board as of now. Cullies putting up a brilliant fight over there, between actually neck to neck, going there with ROG Titans. For somewhere in the line, I even thought Cullies would take this game, but we do have Archmage on the Tinker, making sure that his team is going to stand strong at the end of the day. And with this, we come to an end to the ESL India Premiership for today. I would like to give a shout